The state of Throne Liberty isn't the best. We're all waiting for Talandra Tier 2 update that's coming in, I think, a little bit over a month. But the player numbers have been dropping, and I saw this video, or was sent this video by Sleepy Rajin that I wanted to check out because he talks about Throne Liberty being cooked. Is what he's saying in his title. So let's see what he has to say about Throne Liberty in current state.
For the last 3 months, I've watched...
I'll be linking in the video in the description below, so you guys can check it out.
Countless guilds not withstand the test of time to things such as greed. 75,000 on auction house. All participants are in there. Fuck, I really should have just stole it, honestly, and kicked all of you.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I mean, you could, but nobody would ever play with you again.
Get your shit together.
Drama.
Yeah, so you're telling me that that Ceradoma Island thing with Corrupt was because that guy was ganking stuff?
Oh boy, this.
I mean, this drama topics, or drama in general, I would say, is if it's a PvP game, the drama comes with the PvP, right? And usually, drama, I mean, for some people, it's entertainment. For some people, it ruins communities and guilds. But drama is basically to be expected in every game or every MMO, or especially PvP focused MMOs.
Again, yes.
Internal conflict.
He haunts the Riftstone.
Wait, Theo's in the Riftstone?
No.
Nah, I'm fucking.
And best of all, Reddit posts.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What
Reddit posts, I've been there, I've seen it.
the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Throne in Liberty will be one of those games that everyone looks back at and says, you just had to be there. It reminded me of one giant high school where everyone knew each other and is constantly trying to get into each other's business, where rumors and drama spread like wildfire. If you've ever played Telephone or Chinese Whispers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So why does the game currently have a strong downward trend? Well, there are three major reasons.
Wait, let's look at this. He's saying
Three major reasons.
why does it have a downward trend, right? Now, every game, no matter what game, has a downward trend. Every big game, every successful MMO or game has a downward trend that from when it launches to where it currently is. The main thing you have to look at is the stabilization. How many players is this game retaining? Right now, I think it's about 20K when the game is down bad currently. But having 20,000 active players is actually really good. A lot of, or most MMOs don't even get those numbers. So while it is in a downward trend, you can see that it does stabilize. And I think it's going to stick with like a 20K player base. And of course, when T2 comes, I expect it to shoot back up until probably, knowing AGS, will probably shoot back up to 100,000 even. And then start on a downward trend again.
Downward trend. Well, there are three major reasons why. Reason number one would be guild requirements. Me and three friends decided to create a guild called Holy on a whim solely because of a title at the end of milestones. It required you to be in the top 20 guilds by the time the milestone finished. I slowly started to realize what it would take to reach that goal the closer I got to it. It started from recruiting players that were level 20 and logged in every 3 days to recruiting only level 50s who averaged 6,000 guild rep daily. Holy went from killing Chernobog with 9 people. That's gonna kill Truth.
Yep, I knew it.
To farming a dentist with 60.
Oh shit, runes! Oh, a sword as well.
Oh my god, in heaven.
We went from a casual noob-friendly guild to the chopping block. If you didn't make a GVG, you were kicked. Some might argue this creates a toxic environment, and others might say this was necessary to stay competitive.
Yes, I mean, it is a huge issue, but everything in this game is large scale, right? And you have to kind of decide what kind of guild you have to be. You can be a casual guild, but you won't be able to participate in most of the stuff, unfortunately, especially the PP stuff. But if you want to be a casual guild, you have to decide. You can't be like, hey, I'm going to create a new guild and go for top 20 and not play a lot of hours or invite top players, right? Or have a high activity. You have, if you want to be and compete for the top 20, you have to put in the hours. It's an MMO after all, right? You have to put in the grind, you have to put in the time.
Sometimes I feud old
But I do
members of our
understand.
guild
I
to
mean,
see if they continue
there's a lot
playing.
of stuff to do.
Unfortunately, they never did. My whole point is, if you want to be in a top guild, you might as well quit your day job and pick up Throne and Liberty. You can definitely play casually, but you will not be able to experience like 80% of the game. The average top guild requirements is looking like 4 GVGs a week on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and then you had Siege bi-weekly on Sundays, and then you had Conflict boss.
This is not true. I've been in top guild since the start. The amount of GVGs you get is only if people are contesting you, and GVGs are actually the fun content in the game to do. Like the GVGs, the sieges is actually what people look forward to. The more boring content is the peace bosses or the other bosses that, again, is more of the stuff they have to do daily, which eventually gets boring. But saying that the GVG content is making people quit, it doesn't make sense to me, because that's actually the content that the game has to offer, which is fun.
Bosses during prime time, which was like 7 p.m. EST and forward. Now recently they added war games, which are usually randomly scheduled throughout the week. It depends on the guild that you're in. I mean, at our peak of playing, we were doing like 3 or 4 CTAs a day, which in other words means you're on call for 24 hours. Most top guilds required you to not have a social life or any family, so any time off that you would take would usually result in you getting kicked. This obviously wasn't the case for my guild. Reason number 2 is the Zerg meta. If you aren't 4 to 8 guilds deep with matching names, you're most likely getting Zerg Ape 150 Flash Wave into Perma Knockup, 100 Vortex Arrow into 50 Devastating Smash.
I do agree with the Zerg meta. Zerg meta is not good. I've talked about this in my previous videos too. I wish they would make a maximum of 1 alliance per guild. Or even no alliances. They are shifting the meta right now. They're going in more into a GVG type setup where you will fight 1 guild on each peace boss and bosses in general. It's going to be less Zerging, but I do agree on the Zerg meta. I mean, either you're part of the big 4-man alliance or you just get slapped by them, right? But having a smaller alliances would lead to more guilds or even casual guilds being able to participate on the boss fights, right? Or peace boss fights or conflict boss fights, or even make like the conflict bosses into like an event where you get put into different colors like red, green, or blue and fight for the bosses. But I do agree the Zerg meta isn't the best, but it is changing. I mean, the big alliance will still be a thing for sieges and stuff, but everything else, like it's going to be more GVG related, war games, bosses, everything's going to be more GVG, right?
CC lock,
So we'll see how
one-shot
that
arrow
goes-
to staff,
happens.
bug abuse combo every conflict. All while playing on 27 FPS because your PC can't handle 500 people trying to get 1 hit on the boss for a small chance at loot. If you aren't a part of the Zerg, just give up and forget even thinking about getting loot. 90% of the items that drop will go to them, and the 9% will be the random in his 3 out of 70 player guild that disconnected mid-fight because he's on Xbox. Not only that,
I mean, I talked about this before the game even launched. I did say that this will be the biggest issue because you've seen it in other MMOs, you've even seen it in New World. The people that are the strongest controls the server. If you want to get loot, you join the strongest guilds. The strongest guilds will take players that has arc boss weapons, for example, that pay to win to get arc boss weapons or have really good gear, and all the best players joins this big alliance so they can get more loot, while everybody else ends up with bad players. And of course, the bad players or the bad big alliances doesn't stand a chance. It happens in every game. It happens in every PvP MMO. It's just like how it works.
the guy will probably never.
You have to like completely change psychology of players if you want to change this, because if I'm a good player, I want to be part of a good guild or one of the best guilds to get the best loot. It's just how it works. Why would I be part of a smaller guild where you don't get any loot, right? It's just how you progress throughout the game.
Reconnect for some reason, he'll never pick up his loot, so it'll still end up going to the Zerg anyways that's standing there 280 people deep on a single item. Or you can be the 1% like us and fight the Zerg with 2 guilds and still get loot.
Alright, we're going in, guys. Full push in. You're just playing aggressive, popping everything and pushing to the loot. Just sending across loot, guys.
They're all just standing on the loot.
On top of it. Corrupt is just standing on top of it.
Let's
Okay,
do
nice,
it in
not
10
bad.
seconds. Let's just all fly right on top and drop on top of it, okay? Good luck.
I died instantly.
No
We
way!
got it.
No way! Let's fucking
boss.
go!
Arc boss.
Let's fucking go,
Free arc
Sleepy!
boss.
Let's
I
fucking
mean, it's good. It's
go!
good. We like to see.
Holy shit! Regardless, good luck. Siege was pretty much a similar experience.
But can we look at this? You're a small guild. You did this, but look at the excitement. Look how happy you are and your guild is when you get this.
Let's fucking go, Sleepy! Let's fucking.
Would you get this excitement if you were in one of the top guilds, just dropping loot left and right? You wouldn't. Getting these W's in sieges or in PvP or in general, you can see everybody's excited. You guys beat the big Zerg, you got loot, everybody's happy. It's the thrill of an MMO, right? You decided to play this way and you got awarded for it, and it was a good time. You guys were having a good time.
Nice.
Holy shit!
Regardless, good luck. Siege was pretty much a similar experience, albeit we did manage to outsmart the Zerg and get into Throne Room during TNL's very first siege.
Oh,
We got Resgate inside. We got Resgate inside.
Guys, push through that fucking breach. Let's go. Push in that breach. Let's go. Push in that breach.
Gonna resgate down.
Okay, Siege W.
Looking left.
Everybody in the throne room. Everybody in the throne room. 2 minutes left. I want res gates down if you haven't used them out. Everybody in throne room. Stack around Holy.
Get the 1 to
2.5 minutes. Can they survive though?
Killing us.
Guys, we're looking towards defender spawn at 12. We're looking for defender spawn at 12. Burn these guys up, trying to come through defender spawn at 12.
Even making it that far against the Fury Corrupt Alliance in itself was an accomplishment. Those guys are really strong and have a lot of good players as well. With all that being said, you might as well just not participate in any large-scale PvP because it will be overrun by Zergs. If you are in a more popular server, things like nighttime PvP and dynamic PvP,
even though I am part of a big guild, we've seen lately, especially when it comes to sieges, there's a bunch of solo guilds or smaller guilds just going around taking pillages during siege. In the pillages, you can fight for it. And most of the big guilds are just fighting for the throne, but there's a small fights happening at the pillages where you can steal Solent, steal Lucent. It works. It happens. Of course, you have the advantage of being a big Zerg, but you can't look away that there are still W's to take. Now going forward, all the bosses are going to be guild versus guild based, so you will be matchmaked, if the matchmaking works properly, against guilds around your level, right? War games is to PvP against single guilds, not big Zergs. So by changing that, they're literally eliminating the Zerg meta, right? The only way to Zerg will be during castle sieges.
PvP are almost obsolete for anyone that doesn't have an alliance. Your best bet is playing 3v3 arena or even going to Castleton for 1v1s. Reason number 3, the content. PvP games usually have average or below average PvE content. This game's PvE gets stale very quickly due to a few things. The mob density sucks. If you're going to have us running around in circles like Black Desert Online, you might as well increase the density. Dungeon variety is another thing. At first it was fun learning everything, but later on it becomes a tedious task that you are forced to spam, which in turn creates a lot of toxicity towards new players who don't know what to do. You have the elitist veteran who has done the dungeon hundreds of times just for their daily, and then you have the new player who hasn't done it. One person wants to finish it as fast as possible, while the other still needs to learn it. This turns people away from the game. I think the game lacks incentive to do the main pieces of content, whether that be through PvE or PvP, and I won't even get started on how badly the rune system killed the game's population. Another meaningless grind for a few decimals of a % towards your stats. Overall,
Okay. About the PvE itself, it is a bunch of toxicity when it comes to the dungeons in this game. I have to admit myself, like running with players that don't know what they're doing, it gets annoying. But also there's a lot of elitist community in here. If you mess up once, they kick you from the team. I don't like it. I 100% agree with him. It shouldn't be this way because you're gatekeeping. You're not helping players learn, and because you just want to finish as fast as possible. Sometimes even when I have a little time, I've done it too. So I do understand the frustration from it, especially when you're far into the game and there's new players trying to run the dungeons, you're doing random matchmaking, but the game is trying to make up for it by awarding players by doing random matchmaking, right? To helping these new players. But there's definitely more that can be done, right? But and the second thing is the rune system. Now, I know a lot of people did not like the rune system, don't like the grind, but I am different. I come from an old school type of MMOs where you actually had to grind a lot over and over the same thing, getting tedious. But I always felt like that is like the core part of an MMO, right? It is to grind, even if it's for, like, it's better that you're grinding that much for small increases in stats than you're grinding for big increases, right? Because like he's saying, rune system give you, if you have green runes or blue runes or whatever, level 30 or whatever, let's just say you have blue runes level 30, right? And a guy that grinded have blue runes level 60. There is a small advantage different between them, right? But if the rune system actually awarded you more attributes, people would be more angry, right? Because now the people that are actually grinding and have no life has way better stats than you. So in my opinion, I think the rune system definitely could have been done better, but grinding is like a core part of an MMORPG, in my opinion. Of course, you have all that extra content, but if you want to progress your character, you got to put time into it. Of course, the rune system isn't as fun. It was way more fun, like grinding your T1 gear and getting the traits and stuff and like feeling the progression. The rune system was just an add-on to keep us busy, of course. And a lot of like mixed feelings about it, but at the end of the day, the grind is kind of part of it, especially the PvE grind.
Although I had a lot of fun playing Throne and Liberty, but Path of Exile 2 and Marvel Rivals unfortunately killed the game for a lot of people. It was...
Bro, Path of Exile and Marvel Rivals are completely different games. Saying that Marvel Rivals killed Throne and Liberty makes absolutely no sense to me. Completely different genres, completely different games. It just doesn't make sense how that game killed. Throne Liberty was going to lose player base. It was not able to keep up. It's a PvP oriented MMORPG, or was, or still trying to be. And fully PvP games don't really last long, especially MMORPGs. They get a dedicated player base and they usually end up there. Now they're adding more PvE content coming to T2, but those games was not the reason.
It was the first taste of freedom we had in 3 months of mandatory this and mandatory that. We decided to take a 1 week break. Yeah.
Yeah, stay over there. No.
She died. She died.
No.
Katsu died too. Rifle died.
Oh.
No.
No way, he just cleared us like that.
Oh, I died.
Which turned into a 2 week break.
Right here?
Yep. That turned into a we'll come back when a significant content patch drops to now indefinitely disbanding. I think our run on TNL was great. We had lots of ups and downs, made a lot of new friends, and experienced something that I hadn't before. Creating a guild from scratch and peaking in the top 4 of Carnix. I don't plan on quitting TNL, but as it currently stands, I do not plan on playing it actively until something significant comes out again. If you are also on a break from TNL and plan on coming back to T2 and Talandre, or even if you want to play other games, because we're variety gamers now, feel free to join our Discord. We will be rebuilding our guild at some point, and we'll be looking for active players again to join us. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, it's a good video. It's a good video. I mean, I do agree with many of the points, but of course, I also have different opinions, right? I mean, I understand how an MMO's life usually is, and the reality is, right now, with the new market and how MMOs work, MMOs are not anymore expected to last long. They're not those MMOs that you play for 5-6 years. You play MMOs for 3 months, the first 3 or 4 months. It's really fun, really exciting. The lack of content makes people quit. The reality is there's a lack of content in the game right now, which will lead to players quitting. There's nothing to do. People, even the casual players, have progressed through and gotten the T1 gear, right? People come back to T2. There will be new marketing, but it will happen again. You'll start on T2, we'll get a new 100,000 player count, possibly, and that will dive down the longer it goes. And a new top comes, and then each of these tops will become smaller and smaller, right? But reality is, in the newer generation, right now, from newer MMOs, Throne and Liberty is still the biggest MMO to come out for the last 2, 3, 4 years, right? When he's showing these clips of him having fun, right? Which is really good, having fun. I mean, that's why you play games. But if you compare this...
She died! She died!
Right? He's having fun. And you go back to where they dropped that arc boss weapon, right? Where is the arc boss where they dropped it? You can hear, like, you guys were having probably, from what I can hear, way more fun dropping that arc boss weapon than playing the game, right? So I understand that the grinding and stuff becomes tedious and people don't want to do it anymore. And especially when there's very little to progress and a lot of expectations, a lot of like games. I mean, a lot of like expectations, a lot of these hardcore Zergs that ruins it for you. But I would say that Throne Liberty is adding really good changes to the game. And I do think for T2 that we will get a very active player base. I don't know how long it lasts. I expect, I mean, there's a lot of content coming with T2, but it's going to be extremely expensive. But I do think we're going to have a very active player base for at least a month when T2 launches, and then we'll see what happens later, right? But Throne Liberty does have a bunch of content, right? Because it's been out in Korea for a while. So it just kind of depends what the players enjoy. There's no new MMORPGs right now to go and play and enjoy. There's nothing new coming out for a while, guys. I mean, there's Chrono Odyssey. What else is there? There's nothing new. If of course there's going to be new games like Marvel Rivals or whatever that comes out, but they are not MMORPGs. There'll be games to enjoy, but if you're looking for the MMORPG experience, currently there's nothing except Throne of Liberty. But a good video, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is GG for Throne, or do you think the T2 will bring back the hype? Thank you. I'll see you guys next time.